It's a really interesting question. What happens when a child smudges a masterpiece or scratches a masterpiece? When a child crashes into an expensive vase, which then smashes, as happened in Cambridge. It's a tragicomic moment, one that has taken place a few times recently, and there's a story now about a painting in a museum in Rotterdam, and a child, during an unguarded moment, reached out and touched history, specifically a Mark Rothko painting worth an estimated £42 million. The painting in question is grey, orange on maroon, number 8, a towering colour field canvas created in 1960 by the abstract artist, the American expressionist Mark Rothko, and now housed in the museum in Rotterdam. It's part of an exhibition of public favourites, ironically curated, one assumes, for their emotional accessibility. Rothko's works are not framed narratives or technical marvels, but vast emotional absorbers, and to stand before one is to be enveloped in feeling. But that emotional proximity, it seems, also invites physical proximity, especially from small, curious hands. And the damage described as superficial scratches to the unvarnished paint layer is being evaluated by conservators in the Netherlands and abroad. And the painting has been removed from display. And while the museum expects it to return, nothing is guaranteed when it comes to restoration, especially for a Rothko, whose famously delicate layered techniques are notoriously difficult to reconstruct. But we should pause to reflect, because this isn't the first time a Rothko has suffered indignity. In 2012, at the Tate Modern, one of his Seagram murals was defaced in an act of ideological vandalism. It took 18 months and some £200,000 to restore. But this is different. This isn't an activist or a nihilist or a thief. This is a child. And there's something unsettlingly pure about that. No malice, just unfiltered curiosity. And a moment that in most other contexts would be charming has become catastrophic because of the context and the price tag. And the incident brings to light a vital tension, the philosophical contradiction at the heart of public art. Museums want to be accessible, they want to be democratic and engaging, but the very things that make art valuable, age, fragility, uniqueness, demand restriction, distance, and protection. And what happens when we blur that line? The museum has opened its depot, essentially a visible storage facility where objects are not presented behind traditional barriers, but within arm's reach, to demystify art. And the child merely did what the exhibit perhaps tacitly invited. And the implications of this will be felt far beyond Rotterdam. Institutions such as the V&A and the British Museum, which are developing plans to open their archives in similar ways, will now be rethinking visitor proximity protocols. The push for transparency and interaction, admirable though it is, may now give way to renewed caution. And this is also the issue of liability. Who pays for the damage? Museums typically have fine art insurance policies that cover accidental damage, including that caused by children, but there's an ethical grey zone in holding a family financially responsible for an incident born of innocent curiosity. In a previous case, the same Rotterdam Museum charged a tourist who stepped on a peanut butter floor artwork, and one wonders what calculation will be made now. And so we return to the image of the child, a small hand reaching towards a sea of colour, oblivious to the invisible web of cultural, financial, and emotional stakes woven into that canvas. Is it a story of recklessness, or is it about the unavoidable vulnerability of things that matter? Perhaps it's both. In the Cambridge case, when the big vase, the big jar was broken, it was repaired, and then the family was invited back into the museum to see the restoration. I think that's probably the right way to go around this. This is an education moment, and maybe it's a learning moment also for the museum. But it's a reminder as well that art isn't sacred because it's untouchable. It's sacred because it's human, and because somewhere someone always touches it. And let's hope that within grey, orange, and maroon number 8, there is the potential of further life. And when it returns to the wall, it carries not just its scratches, but the story and the warning of what happens when we underestimate the human instinct to reach out towards beauty, because that's what the art is there for. I don't suppose it's there to be scratched, but it is there to be to stimulate the viewer. If it stimulates a child to want to reach up and touch it, I suppose it's done its job, hasn't it? It's provoked a response.